Hello, team, and welcome to another one of our amazing specials. Well, not really special because we're doing more of them, Hayden. Podcast where we're talking about sort of more fundamental stuff, Hayden, would you say? More coaching, like
Absolutely, the fundamental, the nuts and bolts.
the nuts and bolts of anybody who's like marathon training at the moment. At the moment, you're probably in the midst of it. You're in the trenches of marathon training. You feel like giving up because it's been raining every day and you've had enough. But we've got an absolutely, and I'm not underplaying this, cracking guest for you all because we wanted to talk today about nutrition. And there's only one person that we turn to when we talk about nutrition. That's Janie Perry Nutrition, who I want you all to go over and follow on Instagram immediately. What do you think, Janie? Is that a good idea?
That's a really good idea. At Janie Perry Wellness, confusingly on Instagram.
There you go. So yes. So what we thought in this episode, again, last time we spoke about the sort of elements of where you are in your training plan at the moment. Thanks, by the way, for the big positive response to that episode. But this one, we wanted to talk about fueling nutrition because it is at this stage where people are worrying about what to do with regards to, am I eating enough? What should I be fueling? And all that kind of stuff. And it can genuinely make a huge difference on not only race day, but just through some of these bigger miles that you're going to be doing and all that sort of stuff, right? So to get it right is critical. And Janie's going to help you all through that process. Yeah. So, Janie, I've got a question for you straight away.
Go on.
Now, I was in a calorie deficit before I started London training, and it's week. Oh, Hayden, what week am I in London? I don't know why I'm asking you. He's got back surgery. But I think I'm in week 5. Am I in week 5, Hayden? Would I be?
I'd go week 6, if I'm honest.
Right. So I've this week purposely been increasing the amount of calories. Right. I'm trying to get a balance of carbs. Obviously, I'm protein heavy anyway because of the amount of gym work and mileage and stuff like that. Have I left it too late? I'm sitting there like a paranoid mess, thinking that I'm now not eating enough or I'm eating too much. Am I doing the right thing or not?
You really are, and no, you haven't left it too late. And I think the thing to remember is with marathon training, that is not the time to be thinking of losing weight. You know, you've got to fuel for your training and for performance on race day, and carbs are your primary fuel. Now, you can eat, you know, in a way that you can eat in a healthy way, but you don't want to be really cutting back at this stage if you've got a good race ahead of you.
Yes. Okay. That's good. I'm glad I've done that. And I've been eager to ask you that. Once we knew we had you coming on, I was like, I must ask that. Because as I said, I could feel it. And that's always the signs, isn't it, of that sort of not fueling right. You start to feel that fatigue. You start to feel not 100%. Some of those runs that would normally be okay, they're starting recovery from them starting to take a little bit longer. And actually, it should be the other way around because physically, aerobically, the benefits of everything should start to be clicking and turning the right way. So that's why I looked at it. I thought, no, actually, and it didn't help the Hayden at the National Running Show. Basically gave me a bollocking. He went, you look too skinny. You need a good meal, boy. And was that what you said, basically, Hayden?
It's absolutely 100% true. And I stand by it, even right now, looking at you now.
But yeah, so
I think that's so right. And I think the thing to look at is, you know, I really look at, you know, if suddenly you're not sleeping well, you know, you get up in the morning and that motivation to train, I know it's not great when it's raining like this, but you know, when you really feel you just haven't got the energy to run, think, are you eating enough, particularly hot carbs?
Yeah, it was, and it was at the point Ben and I were doing, I can't remember what stupid distance we were doing because he's Tokyo training, keeps making me go run stupid distance. But we had to stop and walk because the train was going through. So we had to go over the steps. I was walking up those steps and it was like I was walking the Green Mile. Do you know what I mean? And I said to Ben, I've got to sort what I'm eating out because I just knew at that point, I think it was only at mile 12. Appreciate it's a long way for some, but I just knew that I hadn't done well that week in terms of eating the right, not just eating enough, but eating the right things. Do you know what I mean? And that was what was paramount to me. So talking about that sort of thing, so the long runs and things like that, because these are simple things that I think people can get right. In terms of like fueling before the long runs, what's your sort of advice to normal people with that sort of thing?
So I would say if you've got a long run, then definitely have something to eat before you go out the door. Ideally, you have it 2 to 3 hours before a long run, but that's just not, on a Sunday in January, February, that's not going to happen. So I would say get up, have something that's light and easy on your gut. I'm always suggesting peanut butter with a bagel with peanut butter. Really simple, cheap, easy. You could have a bit of porridge with a bit of protein powder in there. Or, if your gut is very sensitive, have a gel as you go out the door, but just make sure you're fueling every half hour. So, if you have a bigger breakfast and you can tolerate it, then you might not need to start fueling quite so early. But if you're having something smaller like a gel, or you can sip on a carb drink in those first few miles, just make sure that you're fueling often and regularly.
I know a lot of people are going to ask as well about this whole breakfast thing, because it does become an issue and it comes up a lot.
It comes up so much.
It does come up a lot. So obviously a lot of people worried about eating something and it going wrong with them straight away in their stomach. But even if you get up and you do what you say, 2 to 3 hours before, and you eat that bagel and peanut butter, is the carbs or the benefit you're going to get from that, will you get that within your race or your run or because some people are talking about you don't get the benefit till 5 or 6 hours later or till 12 hours later. Do you get that benefit almost immediately?
Yeah, you do. And you do with that gel in that half hour, because actually your body has enough time to start digesting it. So you get the energy from it, but without it becoming a problem in your gut. So you then get, gut distress possibly. So yeah, so that's why in a way 3 hours is the ideal, because it gives enough time for the food to digest, or just that short window before you go out the door. But yes, you do. What you're basically doing in the morning is you're topping up your glycogen store. So your body can store about 500 grams of carbs, but obviously overnight, just through living and breathing and sleeping, you burn through some of that. So in the morning, you're just topping those up. So yeah, you really do get the benefit. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I definitely feel better on those runs where I've fueled properly beforehand.
Yeah,
in long runs, you're burning a lot.
There's people. I've seen it about like running starved and things like this, but there's so much sort of. I mean, okay, you know better than me. Like they're saying about it doesn't help with hormones and things like this, and there's some real damage that you can do running starved. Like on some of these big runs, right?
I think if you're going out for an easy 40-minute run, you don't need to fuel.
Okay.
I mean, what I would say is come back and make sure you eat something afterwards. But, a 40-minute easy run, you've got plenty of carbohydrate inside you. You're absolutely fine. But, going out for an hour, really heavy interval session, I'd think again.
Okay. Sorry, Chris, you say you have plenty of carbohydrate inside you. Are you just assuming that, or is that just generally from, even if you had a crap diet, would you still have enough carbs within you to go out and do a 40-minute run? Is that just general within your body, or is there a chance that maybe I've only got like 100 grams of carbs inside me, so I'm going to go out and it's going to be a disaster? Is that a possibility, or is it just naturally you're going to have them?
I mean, I think if you're eating properly, or even have a crap diet has loads of carbs in it. It's not necessarily good carbs.
Yeah.
And actually, a crap diet probably has more carbs in it than it has anything else. I mean, if you're not eating enough, then that is different. But that's different. Yeah. But as long as you're eating regularly, you've got enough in there for a 40-minute run. But Hayden, we are all different.
Yeah.
And what I love doing is nutrition is such a personalized thing. But I would say for the average person who's eating regularly and enough to keep them going, you've got enough stores for 40 minutes.
Janie, that's a good point actually. Do you like in your line of work, do you work with a lot of runners and stuff like that? Do you like writing plans and things like that? How does that work? I'm like thinking of me as a coach. Obviously I'm writing plans and I'm working with the runners and doing that. So is it like the same in your world? How does that all work?
Exactly. So I really see clients for sports nutrition and weight loss. Some athletes come for both, but not in a marathon training cycle particularly. So yes, so what I do is I'm helping them. The questions you've asked me is exactly what they ask me. What do I eat for a long run? When do I need to fuel when I'm running? So I sort of, with them, we break down their training diary, and just I help them really learn how they fuel for their runs. And then what I really love doing is, if they've got a marathon coming up, we look at race week. We look at that day before a race. We look at the morning of, and obviously we look at the race itself, and then afterwards.
So yeah, so you build them a plan around that as well. Do you I was talking, keep staying on that track. I was talking to a client about, like, just general chatting about eating and stuff like that. And I just said to him, firstly, I've not really got a clue here. But what I can say is that, from experience, is that I tend to be more protein heavy towards the front end of the week. And then in the second half of the week, so like Wednesday tends to be my changeover day. It's like being in a hotel. And I switch to a more carb-based. I don't neglect the protein, but I switch to a more carb-based source of nutrition, right? Because I know typically at the weekend I'm going to do some silly distance, or I'm going to have a race, or I'm going to have to. Is that a relatively sensible strategy?
I think it's really sensible. And actually, going back to talking about the long run, and actually thinking about your nutrition really does start that night before. So that night before, make sure you're getting some carbs into your last meal of the day. Again, so you're topping up your carbohydrate, which again will just give you an extra boost in the morning. So yeah, I think you're really sensible, because the mileage does tend to ramp up over the weekend, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then, as you say, to focus in on that recovery, to give my body the best chance of recovery, topping up on that protein, because there's some mental figures. I actually struggle to get enough protein in based on my height, size, that number they punch out on ChatGPT, whatever you call it. But I really struggle to get, like, the amount of protein. I'm having to supplement it with a shake or two, depending, and then I'm having to basically eat 52 chickens at lunch, and have a protein yogurt and protein this, and and I'm really trying to dial in. It's actually really hard to get. I think I can't remember. It's 160 grams, whatever it's meant to be. It's really hard.
1.6 grams to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Normally what we say.
Yeah, that's basically, I think, what I punched in on the old lovely AI. Thanks for coming. But it's really hard to get that. Like, in terms of, and then if I do eat too much of that, it then causes me distress, if you know what I mean. And so to balance, it's quite hard, isn't it? Is there like an easier way to manage all this sort of stuff, or is it just got to get on with it?
Yeah, I mean, eggs are great. One egg is 7 grams of protein, but so if you get four eggs in a meal, or you make scrambled egg with even just the egg whites and one yolk. But yeah, it is. I have to say, like you, I'm a huge fan of protein shakes, because it's such an easy way to get 20-30 grams of protein. Just use a good clean brand, with not lots of artificial sweeteners, flavorings, etc. So just do your research on that one. I'm sure you have done. But yeah, it is. And I think really the way to manage it is actually, particularly when you're marathon training, eat 5 times a day.
5 times?
So 2 snacks in the middle. Just 3, and not necessarily big meals, but 3 meals with 2 one mid-morning, 1 mid-afternoon snack.
What would be a good snack, do you reckon?
So I would say, cottage cheese is such a great form of
is it? I can't stand it.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that.
I know it's a bit like Marmite. People love it or hate it.
I can't think of anything worse.
2/3 of the carb is 20 grams of protein. So, you could do that on a rice cake or 2 with some walnuts, gives you some healthy fats. Yogurt's a great one.
Yes.
Really easy. 200 grams of yogurt, 20 grams of protein. Halloumi, that's
no, Janie, you're going down the wrong path here. You're basically naming everything that I don't eat, right? I don't understand why there's no crisps that have got high protein counts, because I'd be really good at it. But no, on a serious point, the Greek yogurt, right? I remember when we had you on last time, I think it was just before I went on holiday, and I basically smashed the life out of the Greek yogurt every day to get my protein in. It's a really easy source of, if you chuck in whatever store, like load of blueberries or whatever on top of that, Greek yogurt is disgusting. It tastes just like, you know what I mean? But when you chuck some of that stuff, like I was reading this the other day. This is how mental I am at the moment, but about honey. Like honey is if you have, listen to this, Hayden, you should be doing this at your age. If you have honey, right, with warm water, 30 minutes before you go out, it's like nature's sports drink. The amount of carbs, because it's natural sugar. You listen to this, Hayden, a professional here. 30 minutes apparently before you go out, although I would need a wee about 3 minutes into my run. But apparently honey is like God's #1 sports enhancement drink thing. Is that true, Jane? It's like,
I mean, honey is carbohydrate. I mean, it is one really, I mean, you can substitute that for a gel easily.
Wow. So Hayden, I'm telling you now.
I know this is difficult because I don't want to undermine, especially not Janie. She's our special
Here
guest.
we go.
Is there a chance? Is there a chance that we are all getting? It's a good question to you, Jane. Actually, can we all overthink this too much, or is it really that important that we should be really, really sort of quite dedicated on this and taking these numbers in and thinking about them? Or is there? I worry about Chris because he is one of these people. He knows the way he is. He's been. You're telling something tonight, and that's it. He won't sleep tonight. He'll be thinking about that all night. And he'll wake up in the morning like the Greek yogurt. You mentioned that 6 months ago, and that was probably on his mind until he went on holiday. And then he'd be getting up in the morning thinking Greek yogurt. Where is the Greek yogurt?
No, that's exactly what I did. I walked in.
I know,
and I located the Greek yogurt, and I made sure I had the same Greek yogurt every day. That's just being autistic. You've got to deal with that. And I had it at the same time, the same day, every day, and I had exactly the same thing, and it was marvelous.
I agree, but what I'm trying to say is there a chance that we are all overthinking? Are we overcomplicating it, overthinking it, or is this really what we should we really, really be doing this? And obviously, this is coming from you, obviously, with the job you do. That we're just saying, well, of course you're going to say that, but no, this is really important, isn't it? If we're training,
it is important, but actually, Hayden, I'm so with you, and I really like to make things simple. Because actually, a lot of people don't know what their macros are. They don't, carb loading. We talk about 8 grams to 12 grams in that carb loading period per kilogram. And there's sort of 2 to 3 days before a marathon. But for a lot of people, that doesn't mean anything. So, something like that, I would say in those few days before a marathon, 3 to 4 days, actually, on the basis, again, you're eating properly. I mean, as in, you're eating regularly. Just swap out all the protein, all the fats, and change everything to carbs. So that actually, for me, by the time it comes to race night, I'm just having 2 bagels with a little bit of peanut butter on the top. But I mean, that's 80 grams of carbs. So yeah, Hayden, I think it really is important, but I think we can all overthink it. And actually, I'm all for trying to keep it simple.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
I will kind of counter this because I think I actually think it is really important, and I think with people like Janie on social media and things like that, giving out like proper advice, like, do you know what I mean, qualified advice and qualified assistance, I think now more and more people are able to access that. So I think knowledge now is increasing. So
people are getting faster as well. Better performance
this is the thing, right? I look back, as I said to you, like 8 years ago, or whatever it was, 9 years ago, whenever it was, when I ran my first marathon, I didn't have a clue, right? But now where I'm looking to take a step in terms of my performance and everything, I'm looking at every aspect of my running. Yeah, nutrition is such a key part, the fuel that will get me round that 26.2 miles. It's so important, but there's now so much information out there. A lot of it's BS, but there's people like Janie here who know what they're talking about that you can access a lot easier. So I think it's actually becoming more front and center on people's minds that they know if they're looking to make marginal gains, or actually quite big gains, if you tidy up your nutrition, which is so hard to actually do, because normal people like us three ain't got the time to even sit down most days, right? But if you can make a marginal change in your diet when you're training or leading up to training and things like that, and you continue it, it can literally take minutes, 10 minutes more off your overall time if done right. Don't you think, Janie?
No, I really, really do. And I think, again, getting race day right, just is the difference between you having a good race or a really feeling pretty awful.
Yeah, no, it is. Race days is a funny old thing. As we always say, you can train the best training in your life, and then whatever, you turn up like London last year, it was like 25 degrees. Nothing you can do about that, right? But you can control your fueling. You can control your hydration. You should, and I tell my runners that I coach, I want you working on that now. We do, 15, 16-mile runs in there, and they're there more than anything else to practice fueling, to get right. So you've woke up, you've gone down, you've done that run. How early did you have your breakfast? What did you have leading up to it? And getting that side of everything right. If they come back to me and say, "Oh, I was a bit knackered at, mile 13 or whatever," well, actually, let's talk about your fueling. What was you taking? How much was you taking? Were you getting the right amount of grams of whatever it is, carbohydrate, right? Hayden and I were on a call today, and we was talking to somebody who works in the industry with regards to fueling. And I was questioning him about the amount of, was it grams, calories in the carbs in the gels. And they're looking at bringing potentially something out that's got more, because they know that they're a bit light versus some of the other ones out there. Because if you're pushing hard, you need an extra amount, and that will make a difference. Again, come mile 24 when you're absolutely broken. But if you've got enough fuel in there, this is still functioning because everything else is still got a little bit of fuel in there. Is that the right? Am I on the right track here?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, marathon day, it's all about fueling really often. There is this sort of, 60 grams to 90 grams an hour of carbs. And that depends very much on the type of gels you choose. So if you're choosing a gel that's glucose-based or maltodextrin-based only, then your gut can tolerate 60 grams an hour. But if you want to do more than that, so going up to 90 grams, which a lot of the sports nutrition companies are encouraging with their gels, then actually you need to find a gel that has glucose or maltodextrin and fructose. So it's adding that fructose gives you that extra 30 grams of carbs.
Right.
And I think, Chris, it's one of those things. I think my question is, if you're really racing, then you probably do need more. If you're actually, I think we have to be careful not to necessarily think that a lot more carbs is what we need.
Yeah. Okay.
Particularly in those long runs, it's different. You're not racing so much then.
Okay. Yeah. Your efforts. Yeah. Your effort, because really, you're looking to peak on race day, right?
Yeah.
For most people. So your maximum effort, unless you're doing the race for a different reason or whatever, but let's put that to one side. But you're looking to peak performance. Now, that could be just to finish the thing. You're going to be doing everything humanly possible just to finish that race, yeah? Which is your peak performance. So you are going to need that fuel because you are really putting a lot of stress onto your body. You are maxing out. You are emptying your glycogen stores. You are literally depleting your body because you are giving everything.
Yeah.
That's where it's critical. As you say, I think the training runs are there as training runs. They are there to train your body in terms of dealing with all what's going on, nutritional, hydration, physiologically, whatever way you want to look at it, right? I think that's probably what I think you're trying to say, yeah?
Exactly. And I think, of course, whatever the gels are you're going to use on race day, practice them on those long runs. Yeah. But the need for those really high carb amounts in a long run, probably done at easy pace, maybe with the odd mile at marathon pace, whatever, is not going to be as much as on race day.
Yeah.
Okay, so Janie, I'll ask you. Sorry.
Sorry, no.
I was going to say, I'll ask you a question. It might be a difficult one to answer. So let's just say this weekend, all three of us are going out and we've got on our plan a half marathon. We're training for a full marathon. We're doing a half. We're going to jump on a plane and we're going to go out to Valencia and do the Valencia half marathon.
Nice.
Would you say, like, so this week, what would you say is the most important? Getting the we're not racing it. We're going to take it easy. The pre-run fueling, right? Fueling during the run, or the recovery. Out the three, what would you say is the most important? Not a race. This is just a 13-mile run that we're going to take. Easy-ish, maybe a bit of target pace in there. But what would you say out of the three is the most important to get right?
That's a very good question, because I would say they are all important, because they all have their own place. What you do beforehand impacts the day itself. What would I say? I mean, you don't want to do that run not fueled. So I'd say, I suppose my answer would be getting the actual run sorted. But, and of course, I don't know what Valencia is like, but it's obviously hotter than here, making sure you get your electrolytes in as well. But yeah, going for a long run, you do need to get your fuel in.
Okay. I've got two questions, Janie, before we go. In terms of like post long run meals, I'm not talking about the race. I'm talking about helping you, maybe you do your long run on a Saturday and you're back to it on Monday. You've got another week of training. What's the sort of best meal, or what should we be focusing on after those long run efforts? As the miles rack up, as for some people who listen to this, what's the sort of best meal option in terms of recovery to help them then go forward?
So I would say you want some carbohydrate, you want some protein, and you want some healthy fats in there. Okay. So, and when I say healthy fats, I'm talking sort of nuts, seeds, olive oil, avocado. Those really help with inflammation, which basically help with soreness and really aid your recovery. Okay. So, if you're really sore after runs, it's those healthy fats that will really help you. So, a roast isn't, if you want to roast on Sunday, roast chicken, have a couple of potatoes, and maybe have some yogurt, some nuts and seeds with some berries afterwards. That's
a good shout, actually. Yeah. If you think about it, a roast, right? If you actually think about it, you're getting the protein, you're getting the carbs. Obviously, you've got the veg there, so you're getting all that good stuff. It's a pretty good long run meal to have later on, after you've had, I don't know, some element of protein after you, whatever it is, 30 minutes after the run, whatever they say it is. But it's actually a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah, some broccoli, lovely green veg, lots of vitamins and minerals in there.
What about the glass of wine that goes with it?
He can't help it, can he? He can't help. Last one. Where are you like for supplements and things like that? Are we better? Because like I'm taking. If you said to me, Janie, FORDY, you need to be taking this, and this, I'd go and buy it. And I would, because that's what I'm like. It's like, we had the sports scientist at the Natural Run Show, and he told me I could have Monster drinks. So every day I'm drinking Monster drinks because it's got taurine in it or whatever it is. But no, on a serious point, supplements and things like that, are we better off? We are better off trying to get these from like natural food and stuff, aren't we? Or should we be topping up as well? Because I'm just worried about like, immune systems and things like that. You know what I mean?
I think, Chris, that's a really good question. What I would say is, like we were saying, we all have busy lives. It's very difficult to get the perfect diet.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good with what I eat, but I take supplements.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I would just say really quickly is, I would say for athletes, we're putting a lot of stress on our body, like you're saying, with immunity. So actually, we really need to support it.
Okay.
Have a really healthy diet. But I would say on top of that, buy a good quality multivit.
Right.
Magnesium, which is really helpful for cramps, relaxation, sleep, which of course is really important. Yeah. Vitamin D with K2. Make sure you get the K2, which makes make sure that the calcium, which vitamin D helps your body absorb, goes into your bones and not your arteries. So a vitamin D3 with K2. And then if you're not good on your oily fish, your chia seeds, your flax seeds, your avocado, your walnuts, so basically those omega-3s, those anti-inflammatory foods, an omega-3 supplement.
Right. Hayden, did you get all that? We've got to go Holland and Barrett tomorrow, basically.
I think basically you need a degree in maths as well. These K2, D3s. I'm just, it blows your mind, you know.
I'm going to listen back to this and write all this down.
Yeah. That's a good
And
shout.
I'm going on Amazon and I'm going to get all of them because
Don't
I'm
go
not
on Amazon. Don't go on Amazon. Message me and I'll tell you where to go.
Oh, what a hero. Look at that. Because I honestly, I'm not doing it. I've got some multivitamins from my protein that I regularly forget to take. I'm trying to get as much sort of good stuff in my diet, like naturally. But you're right. That sort of stuff there, I'm not even thought about. That's why I just wanted to ask the question. Basically, this has been what I've realised, Hayden. This has basically been a 1-to-1 with Janie for me today.
I know. She'll send you the bill as soon as we get off.
No, send it to Hayden. Send it to Hayden.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree with the vitamin side of things. I take a vitamin supplement every day and cod liver oil because I don't get the omega-3 from other stuff. And I do, at the moment, I'm doing the collagen shots and I think I feel better for them, to be honest. It's been about 3 weeks of them now. I only do them after activity. I don't do them in general, but I actually think they're making a little bit of a difference. Not cheap.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think they're making a bit of a difference.
And I think, it's so easy to go onto Instagram and see something and think, oh my God, I must buy that. And I think, what I say, and it's things like creatine, which is everyone talks about.
Yeah.
What I say is, like those collagen shots, try something for actually 2 or 3 months. And if you get to the end of it and you think, wow, it's made a difference, carry on. If you don't think it's made a real difference, then
yeah, it's interesting.
I have a rule. Sorry.
No, go on, Jane. You're gone.
I have a rule that I take 10 supplements a day.
10?
But I limit myself to that. So if one comes in, then one goes out.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you can overdo it.
I think I need to up my supplement game, Hayden.
I think you do as well. And I need to ask Janie this one question because I know she commented on my Instagram today. My grenade bar today that had my protein bar, it was a Cadbury's cream egg protein bar. Is that good for me or not? Because I can see myself getting addicted to those.
Do you know, Hayden, it's so funny. I saw that and I did think, gosh, I must go and look it up. And I didn't. But Hayden, if it was after a really good long run or whatever, then you're welcome to it.
Yeah,
it's a snack. It's one of them afternoon snacks we talked about.
It is true. I do I make you laugh, but if I want a naughty treat and I'm in Sainsbury's, like Ben and I would do a long run, I will go for the protein bar now over a Whisper or something like that because you think it's got 9 grams in it. Surely it's going to do some good. It ain't, but you think about it, don't you? Janie, where can everybody find you again? Please let everybody know where we can get in touch with you, please.
That's so kind. Well, I'm on Instagram at Janie Perry Wellness. If anyone wants to message me there or on my website, janieperry.co.uk.
Brilliant. As always, super helpful. Thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. I think anybody who's going to be listening to this who's marathon training is going to get so much out of this. I know I have.
See you at London and at Amsterdam, Chris.
There we go. Right. So she's part of the team. She's welcome aboard. But yeah, it's been brilliant. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon, guys. Where's the outro, Hayden? I've lost it. Thanks very much. Take care, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.